Hi, good day everyone, and welcome back to our discussion about assessment of learning. So, today we are going to talk about another topic, and this is all about uh, purposes of assessment. So, in this topic, we're going to focus more on assessment for learning or AFL, assessment of learning AOL, and assessment as learning or AAL. A deeper and more comprehensive understanding of these purposes will allow teachers to see if their teaching has been effective and students can achieve the set of learning goal. A complete understanding of these purposes will help judge the learning process and consequently plan for effective instruction. Let's start with assessment for learning. This is diagnostic and formative assessment. It is done before and or during instruction. It is used also to determine the learning needs, monitor academic progress, and improve the teaching learning process, and not for grading and reporting. Take note of that. So, an example of this is the teacher gives a placement test to assess the needs of the learners and have a sound basis for effective instruction. So take a look at always on the keyword which is for, that is referring to the time in which it happens before or during instruction or discussion. So the teacher may ask questions, give tests just to determine students' understanding, provided it is done before or maybe during the class. Assessment of learning. So always it is referred to as a summative test that is done after instruction. If for learning is during in before, this assessment of learning is done after instruction. So example is the teacher gives a final project that requires application of the required skills in relation to the curricular outcomes. At the end of the unit, the teacher gives an achievement test for the decision on students' placement and promotion. This is always given and done by the teacher if he had done already the discussion, or it is given after the unit or after the module. Take note that our midterm examination is an example of a summative test. Our module test, our unit test is an example of a summative test. Everything that has been given by the teacher, which is always at the end or at the ending of the unit or a discussion. And when he say this, he may also record and grade this performance or result of yours in your achievement test or in your assessment. Okay, so take note that this summative test is graded and it is used for your description, the description of your performance. So again, this is assessment of learning. It is a summative test. The third one is what we call assessment as learning. So as learning or as he learns. In definition, it is formative and reflective. This may take place during or after instruction. So take note the time during and after instruction. This allow time for both the teacher and learners to do self-edit, because sometimes teacher and students can talk about the performance of that particular child. You as a future teacher can intervene during the process, and you don't need to wait for the end of the lesson or the discussion or the end of the chapter or module and go and intervene. So you can really intervene the process if you can observe students who are not performing well and allow them to be informed of their performance, and so that they can have the self-edit. They can reflect, they can improve, they can of course learn from it and do it in the next time. So it reflects on their strengths and work on their weaknesses. through self-reflection and self-regulation. There's always a time for our students to reflect, a time to determine their strengths and weaknesses, what they have done for the day, what they need to do in order for them to improve their performances. So assessment as learning is very important because it always give time for each of us. Even the teacher can also do assessment as learning because as he teaches, he is learning or she is learning as well. And even me, I am also self-editing, especially when there are challenges that comes into our lives. And prepare yourselves for the next challenge, right? So you can always pause for a while and reflect for the thing that you fail or you haven't done, and do it better for the next. Example of this, the teacher asks students to prepare a portfolio that features reflection of their learning. It's another, right? So when they made their portfolio or make their portfolio, they are reflecting something, especially their learning. If you found something different or something difficult on the way they do their activity, especially their portfolio, then again you can intervene. Okay, so that's for the purposes of assessment. So take note of those terms and do not forget the different keywords in order for you to remember the different purposes of assessment. Bye bye.